the confluence of two lights of truth, from Aliyah to Scala. In a world that ceaselessly changes, humanity continues to ask the same enduring question: what is truth? This question resounds through every age like an echo that never fades. From the hearts of seekers, some epochs sought the answer through logic and reason, others through meditation and inner illumination. Yet, no matter the path, all inquiries converge toward the same radiance, the light of understanding that transcends time. The confluence of two lights of truth, from Aliyah to Scala, is born from an effort to weave together two great rivers of wisdom: the light of being from the Greek world of Parmenides of Aliyah, and the light of Nyat, emptiness, from the Buddhist world of Ngasina and King Melinda. Though separated by more than 6 centuries and by the expanse of continents, when placed upon the same stage of contemplation, their lights do not clash. They reflect and harmonize in a quiet, resplendent unity. This work is not a novel, nor merely a treatise on philosophy, but a metaphysical dialogue, a space where sages of two civilizations meet beyond time, where reason and meditative insight may sit side by side without opposition. Parmenides, the inheritor of reason; Ngasina, the heir of insight; and King Melinda, the bridge of inquiry. The three do not meet to prove who is right, but to open the door toward a shared understanding. Through each dialogue, the reader journeys from being to emptiness, from time to the knower, and finally into silence. A silence not of void, but of completeness, where knowing exists without a knower. The metaphors of sea and wave, mirror and light, are vessels guiding the reader toward that form of understanding that words cannot contain. For in the end, true philosophy is but seeing what has always been within, what we had only turned away from. This work was not written to be believed, but to invite the reader to be still and see, not to explain truth, but to lead one to face again the truth one has forgotten. Where the light of Parmenides and the light of Ngasina meet, what remains is not their teachings, but the light of understanding that arises within the reader's own heart. Thus, this work resists definition. It may be literature, it may be philosophy, or merely a mirror in which, upon looking, one sees not the figures of the three sages, but the reflection of one's own seeking self, moving through the current of time. And when the final page is turned, if the reader feels a small quietude within, then perhaps the light of wisdom has already begun to dawn, without need for further words. Chapter 1. The Dialogue of Truth. Is the so-called emptiness truly empty? At dawn in the city of Scala, the first light of day streamed through towering stone pillars into the great hall. Golden sunlight reflected upon the polished marble floor. The air was tranquil. Only the faint sound of temple bells drifted from the distant hills. King Melinda sat upon a pale stone throne, surrounded by sages and monks from many lands. It was a day destined for the meeting of two great ages, the reason of the West and the wisdom of the East. On the king's left sat a man robed in white, his face serene and steadfast, Parmenides of Aliyah, founder of Western metaphysical thought. On the right sat a monk whose calm eyes shone with compassion, Ngasina, master of the Dharma and bearer of luminous speech. When the two sat side by side, it was as if two rivers met, their waters mingling in silent harmony, not in conflict, but in completion. King Melinda gazed at both and spoke with calm gravity. Today, I wish to understand a mystery that has perplexed many. In this emptiness that is said to be empty, is there truly anything? For in Ngasina's teaching, all things are empty of self. Yet in your philosophy, Parmenides, all that is must eternally be, leaving no place for what is not. If emptiness exists, does it not contradict being itself? Parmenides was silent for a moment, watching the sunlight move across the marble, before replying softly, "The emptiness you speak of cannot exist, for that which truly is must be wholly filled with being, as the sea is filled with water, leaving no room for absence. To speak of emptiness is but to carve illusion out of the whole, as if one could separate a shadow from the light that gives it form." Ngasina bowed gently and replied with quiet grace, with reverence to the wise one, "I do not say that emptiness stands apart from what exists. It is the nature of things to exist without clinging to self. As with your ocean, when waves arise, we call them waves. Yet they have never been apart from the water. When the waves subside, the sea remains as it always has been. Thus, emptiness is not the absence of being, but the understanding that all things appear yet are inseparable from impermanence, non-self, and release from grasping. Parmenides nodded slowly and answered, "What you call the wave is, to my eyes, the illusion of change. If the sea is what truly is, then it remains so eternally, unmoved whether waves rise or fall. Change is but the flicker of shadow on water, motion seen where only stillness abides." Ngasina smiled gently. Indeed, stillness exists, but not as rigidity. In the Dharma, stillness is the unshaken heart amidst change. Whether waves form or fade, the sea remains the sea. If one clings to the existence or non-existence of the wave, one misses the sea itself. Emptiness is not denial but freedom, like a mirror reflecting all things yet clinging to none. King Milinda's gaze deepened. It seems that your truths are not opposed, but two faces of the same sphere. Parmenides speaks of what is constant, Ngasina of release from clinging. Both point to what time cannot destroy, each through a different mirror. Ngasina replied softly, "If understanding itself is one with truth, there is neither east nor west, only a single light that shines within the heart of the seer." Parmenides closed his eyes in silent assent. At that moment, the late morning sunlight flooded the hall, the stone pillars casting rippled shadows like waves upon the floor. King Milinda watched in silence. No words were needed, for within that silence, understanding had already begun to reveal itself, as emptiness that was not void, but fullness awakened beyond all grasping.